Hello YouTube. This is going to be another book review. I have finished Soundless by Richelle Mead, and I have got to say I really dug this book. I actually am going to go out there and say this is definitely better than Vampire Academy. I mean, I am a sucker for historical fiction. If you don't see the Outlander thing right there that I'm still trying to read, but I'm a huge sucker for historical fiction. I love folklore, and I love the folklore feel. This feels like I'm this has the feel of let's say like if I get the same feeling from this as I get from reading Beowulf. That is a huge accomplishment. Good job, Richelle Mead. I'm definitely going to give this story 5 out of 5 stars because this was a brilliant story. This is the best piece of literature I have read from her so far. She has another book series coming out. I cannot wait to read it. Her writing out of Vampire Academy is just brilliant, and I can't wait to read anything else she comes up with. I might get to her adult novels at some point, but right now this was brilliantly crafted. Anyway, so that's the non-spoiler review. I always tend to end up mixing it together and kind of give like half spoilers or something. But yes, that's the non-spoilery part of the review. 5 out of 5 stars. Brilliantly written, brilliantly crafted. The characters are absolutely amazing. And yeah, that's basically the what I'm gonna say about this book without spoilers. Now for the spoilers. The names were interesting. I couldn't pronounce any of them. I don't know an ounce of Chinese at all, and there are different types of Chinese. Like there are different dialects of Chinese. So, yeah, I don't know which one she was using. I would say she's near Tibet or in Tibet, because I don't know the terrain of China very well, but I know Tibet is basically mountains and plateau. So that could be where she is. I don't know. I'm trying to see if the name's on the side of the thing, so I don't feel like trying to look for it. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, again, it's all names that you can't really pronounce, and if that might be a deterrent for people, but I hope it isn't, because this book was amazing. The romance was very fun in this book, or not fun, but you know, it was a folklore romance, which is nice. I like the folklore feel of the romance. I like the connection between sisters. That was amazing. I was so happy to read about a connection between sisters. And it's a special connection, and Richelle Mead Richelle Mead is probably the only young adult author I've really run into, like really run into, who can successfully depict relationships between other women as friends. And that's a huge accomplishment, because a lot of times a lot of young adult fiction doesn't do it very well. And so it's a huge accomplishment, I think, for Richelle Mead, and I think she's definitely going to go down as one of the best young adult fiction authors since Harry Potter, because I'm not going to include Twilight in that. Yeah, I know, but I wanted to read Life and Death, which I'm going to give a review on Life and Death at some point. I just need to finish reading it. Anyway, the story was very good. It was a very hidden story, because you didn't always know. Hi, sorry about that. I had to turn the video camera off for a second. Anyway, so yeah, the story was, I would call, a very hidden story, because or a very slowly revealing story, because you're dealing with people who basically can't hear. And then you have the main character who's never heard anything before. So she's unreliable. Like, she's an unreliable main character. She's like reliable and unreliable at the same time. It's weird. But it's awesome. I really do. I love the feel of this story. I love the way everything just kind of comes together, and just the detail Richelle Mead put into this story. It was just absolutely amazing. I'm so not used to it. There's a lot of detail in this story. It's a fast read. I finished this quickly. Granted, it's Richelle Mead, so it might have been because I'm like biased towards her writing or something. It's very fast. It's very easy to read, but it's very rich in description. It's one of those stories you just sit back and relax and just let go. Like I said, it's really hard to talk about a story that you can't pronounce the names of. But of course, I had that issue when I read Crime and Punishment and gave the review on that. But, anyway, it was definitely, the folklore in here was fun. But, I mean, it was mostly mentioned, like slowly mentioned and revealed as the story unfolds. There was always little hints and spits about, like, you know, where everything comes from, history, and all of that. But, yeah, we didn't really, as much as I enjoyed, it's one of these things where it's just kind of like, this isn't like, definitely not like Vampire Academy. There is an undertone of magic and the magical and the mystical and all of that stuff. There's an undertone of that, which is great. Like, it doesn't overshadow the plot or anything. And that's actually a good thing, I think, because the cool thing about the story is that it's folklore. It's kind of a modern, it's folklore from a modern author's point of view, written in a way a modern author would think folklore should be written. And in normal myths and fables, magic isn't, like, magic is there, but it doesn't overshadow reality, so to speak. That's why they call it myth and folklore. Or legend. There we go. Like, let's take Beowulf, because Beowulf is my favorite book, epic to ever read. And the fantastic world of myth and legend is in there. But it doesn't overshadow the people that are there. And that, I think, is what Soundless does by Richelle Mead. And I'm not familiar with Chinese folklore, so I don't know if they do that generally. They might. I don't know. The only real experience I have with Chinese folklore is Sagwa the Siamese cat. So, yeah. I couldn't begin to tell you, but I always like reading folklore. I love reading myths and legends, and so it's always fun for me to read it and to enjoy it and all of that, all the really good stuff. And it was a great journey for me, and it was a great divorce from what I normally, not divorce, it was a great break from what I normally read and write about. I mean, heck, I'm writing my own version of a fairy tale, for goodness sake. So, yeah, it's nice to actually get a little bit of a break from that. Anyway, so have you read Soundless by Richelle Mead? And if not, you should read it. If you have, tell me what you thought about Soundless in the comment section. And really, definitely, NaNoWriMo writers, read this. This is a good break. And if you have issues with description, if you just don't really know how to describe something, this might give you ideas. This is a description-rich book. Again, 4 out of not 4. 5 out of 5 stars if I had been going to review this on Goodreads, and definitely pick this up again. Have a nice day, y'all. See ya.